Our future will be disproportionately affected by the catastrophic impact of climate change. It is very critical for present and future leaders to collaborate on finding solutions. The need for cultural transformation in our time is stronger than ever. This transformation that enables us to shift towards a more sustainable world should be an organic process, guided by the principle of compassion, integrity, and justice. We need to pragmatically think on our behavioral patterns to enable a paradigm shift that is based on an ongoing process of action, reflection, and meaningful participation. Awareness, education, and empowerment are fundamental prerequisites to enable this process, and the youth are energetic and passionate about holding government and all relevant stakeholders involved accountable for their actions. We are equal partners in this process and commit ourselves truly to achieve the objective as cited by this forum. Contrary to what is observed, young people play a dynamic role in framing and implementing policies. So their role goes beyond advocacy. From an advocacy perspective, young people are involved in songs and stories which spread awareness in local languages. Of course, we understand the importance and relevance of this because Africa's 70% is based in rural areas, and the term climate change is foreign. Young people are finding ways of using words in local languages to translate the message across. It is time to shift the balance of decision making towards the generation that will have to manage this unwanted inheritance, to make political and economic decisions that can span the generation and to enable real intergenerational and intercultural dialogue about climate change to be realized institutions where youth generation can learn. However, at the same time, a range of social learning and marketing approaches need to be developed to address the gap between classroom education styles and education that stimulates real action. This gap prevents cultural shift from token awareness to personal action and reaction. In relation to climate change, African government should begin at inception to mainstream youth voices and perception. This is particularly important because climate change projection indicates that effects will begin to be most felt in the next 20 to 30 years. Young people should begin to be part of the solution so that they will be able to cope with disaster calls. Involving them in this program will ensure that those who will be affected will have direct knowledge of the challenges and strategies for coping, as well as the ability to mobilize communities to respond to and prepare for the impact of climate change and natural disasters. Government must give credence to higher learning education system in Africa, in particular the increased accent on improvement of research and innovation on climate change, specifically highlighting on policy and reform, the programs, pedagogy, and teaching tools. This will enhance and equip pool of intellectual capital among the young people on climate change issues. We will replicate this to the various organizations and networks that they are part of. As government level, during the last conference of parties, it was pleasing to see that many African delegations, including Nigeria, included young people and gave them a role to play. Furthermore, many people who were involved in COP15 deliberations have been interacting with the various government and engaging in processes and procedures that relate to climate change policy. There is an understanding that more needs to be done, and at this forum, I urge you to engage young people who knock on your doors, asking to be involved. Youth and youth-based organizations play a major role either in strengthening local capacity to cope or by supporting local action. Already, groups such as the Nigerian Youth Climate Coalition and the African Youth Institute of Climate Change have established climate school clubs, which are creative ways to engage young people. This initiative should be mainstreamed into education systems. Young people in this governing process are important because successful adaptation requires a host of innovative measures to develop vulnerable communities to improve their present and future livelihoods. Young people are vibrant and are able to access places that many government institutions cannot access. As a majority of the population, Africa's future, it is important to include them in impending crisis that is climate change. Already, this conference called for integrated approaches to enable African countries to develop strategies for adaptation to climate change. There is still need to have a clear understanding of potential calamities that climate is gangrened and to start the discourse on how best to stave off the worst impact. There is already an understanding that climate change is not a localized problem, but transcends national borders. Hence the need for cooperation of intergovernmental agencies, but also to introduce young people and vulnerable people. No longer can climate change be seen as a merely environmental problem, but an energy challenge, or an energy challenge. It is a combination of both, which needs the involvement of young people to preserve the environment and enter into the energy careers. It is important for all of us to recognize that sustainable development isn't just a catchphrase. People all over the continent are taking it into their own hands. A couple of days ago, over 300 communities events took place in nearly every country on the continent of Africa, and more than 7,000 globally as part of the Global Work Party of 10-10-10, organized by 350.org. Everywhere in the world, people planted trees, cultivated community gardens, installed solar panels, made buildings more efficient, and implemented thousands of other grassroots solutions to climate crisis. We got to work everywhere in the world, but we need you, leaders, to get to work too. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Esther. I believe you have rested your case. You have heard the message, very strong message from the future of tomorrow for all the young people, and I'm sure